Hello everyone, today's adventure starts as every good British day should, with a strong cup of tea. Some people prefer a coffee, myself, I'm more of a tea man. A moment of calm before I pack up and hit the road. Now, let's get the gear sorted. I'm taking my DJI Mini free drone and my Insta360 X4, plus a load of batteries to keep everything running. It might look like a lot, but when you're trying to capture a place like Corfe Castle, it's worth the prep. All packed up, I've turned the kettle off and I'm ready to roll. I head down to my friend's house, who lives a few minutes away, where we lift share and head off on the road, heading for one of the most iconic spots in Dorset, Corfe Castle. We are now cruising through the Dorset countryside, and it really puts on a show. Rolling hills, quiet villages, and the kind of roads that make you want to stop and take a few drone shots. The drive itself is around 30 minutes, depending on traffic. It can be a bit longer, especially during the summer months, and it's honestly one of those trips where the journey is half the experience. And here we are, we've finally arrived at the village of Corfe. We've parked up in a small car park just outside the main street. It's around £4 for 4 hours, and it puts us right at the edge of everything. Before heading to the castle itself, we're going to have a little explore around the village of Corfe, and it's like stepping back in time. First up is the parish church of St Edward, King and Martyr. It's named after the Saxon king who was murdered nearby in 978 AD, allegedly by his own stepmother, so her own son could claim the throne. Just opposite the church is the Fox Inn, believed to be the oldest pub in the entire village of Corfe. This is a proper traditional pub with a real old world feel. It's one of those places that seems like it's been there forever, and it has. It's also a great spot for food, and if you're up for it, a nice cold, refreshing pint. But there's more to Corfe than just a castle. The village has been here for over 1,000 years and its name likely comes from the Old English word corfen, meaning to cut, referring to a natural gap between the Purbeck hills. It played a key role in Saxon and medieval times. Corfe was once a market town, and you can still spot signs of its past: old stables, coach houses and Purbeck stone cottages dating back centuries. It was also famous for its Purbeck marble, a beautiful local limestone that ended up in cathedrals like Westminster Abbey. This little village quietly contributed to some of England's most iconic architecture. Every cobbled street here tells a story, and you can really feel the layers of history when you walk through it. Next, we popped into a quirky little spot, Corfe Castle Model Village. Entry is around £5, and it's a fun way to see what the castle and village might have looked like before the Civil War ruins. They have also recreated the entire village to scale, complete with castle fully intact, beautiful gardens and even a giant chess set. Great for families or just anyone curious about how things might have once stood. And once you're finished looking around, they have a nice little cafe where you can stop, have a cup of coffee, maybe even a cup of tea, and treat yourself to some nice pastries.
Now we come to the highlight of the day, Corfe Castle. Even as a ruin, it dominates the landscape, perched high on a natural mound between the Purbeck hills. It's one of the most striking and historically rich castles in England. The first version of Corfe Castle was built by William the Conqueror shortly after the Norman invasion in 1066. Unlike the usual wooden mop and bailey castles of the time, Corfe was built in stone from the outset, making one of the earliest and most important Norman fortresses in the country. Over the centuries, it's evolved into a royal stronghold. Monarchs like King Henry I, King John, Henry III all spent time here. It was used to store royal treasure, to host diplomatic guests, and, less pleasantly, as a prison. In fact, King John once held 22 French knights here as prisoner of war. One story even claims that he even starved a royal cousin to death in the dungeons below. The castle was continually expanded and fortified, particularly during the 13th century. Its defences were cutting edge at the time: thick curtain walls, defensive towers, arrow loops, murder holes and multiple gatehouses. The steep slopes made it almost impregnable, at least until the 1600s. The castle was a royalist stronghold, fiercely defended by Lady Mary Banks, wife of Sir John Banks, King Giles I, Lord Chief Justice. When parliamentary forces besieged the castle, she refused to surrender. Armed with just a handful of soldiers and her children, Lady Mary held the castle for 3 years, repelling repeated attacks. Her bravery became legendary. But in 1846, a member of her garrison betrayed her. Parliamentary forces infiltrated the walls, took the castle and ordered it to be destroyed. They did a thorough job. Gunpowder charges were used to blast apart towers and tear through the Great Hall. What was once a symbol of Norman strength and royal power became a ruin, deliberately left that way as a warning to royalist sympathisers. What you see today, collapsed walls, jagged stones and skeletal remains of towers, is the result of that destruction, and yet it remains magnificent. From the top of the keep, you can still get stunning views across Purbeck and out to the coast. And as you stand among the rubble, it's impossible not to feel the weight of the centuries worth of history that still remain. Corfe Castle isn't just a ruin, it's a symbol of ambition, war, betrayal and resilience.
After all that walking and filming, there's only one thing to do: a well-earned pint. Nothing better than relaxing in a village pub, soaking in the sunshine and the views after exploring some serious history. And that is a wrap on a day at Corfe. Heading back to the car now, one last look at those castle ruins, and then it's time to roll home. Thanks so much for coming on today's journey. If you enjoyed it, feel free to drop a like, leave a comment or subscribe. More adventures are on the way soon. Until next time, take care.